One of these two gorgeous rods could be yours this Monday night on Tackle Shop Confessions on the Freeman Adventures YouTube channel. That is a 30-pound range shadow rod along with a beautiful 30-pound Phoenix rod. Tickets are only $5, or you can get 5 tickets for only $20. You need to text Chuck Zimmer for more information. His number is 310-918-1448. Or you can Venmo the funds to Chuck at Charles-Zimmer-5. 2 beautiful rods going out on Tackle Shop Confessions Monday, June 16th. Don't be late. Get your tickets today.
Get out of bed and wake up the kids, 'cause you know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Fishing reports up and down the coast. Your Phil Friedman, your coffee-loving host. So much fishing intel, it feels like cheating when you tune into the morning briefing. Inshore, offshore, from the surf, bluefin, yellowtail, pod, surf, perch. They'll tell you where the fish are and what they're eating when you tune into the morning briefing. So give it a like and subscribe. Hit that bell to be notified of all the fishing content coming your way. Freedman Adventures is here to make your fishing day. It's a morning briefing. Morning briefing.
Halibut and white sea bass fishing has been outstanding in the Channel Islands in Southern California for both private boaters and sport boats. You're looking at the deck of Angel Ramirez. He had an incredible bite on both big halibut and white sea bass. And how about David Rosenthal from Angle R Pliers with a nice flatfish? They had a great private boaters trip. And then we've got to look at the Channel Island boats. They've been all over it. Limits of white sea bass, the Rule, big halibut, and check out the great catch on board the Freedom out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California. Limits of white sea bass, 81 halibut. I ask you on this beautiful Father's Day, does it get any better than this? We are truly blessed here in Southern California with great fishing. Check out my co-host, Paulina Varela from Paulina Fishing Life, as she made the drive with her lovely mother, Berenice, 360 miles from Ensenada down to the Bahia de Los Angeles, the Bay of L.A. Here you see her battling a big yellowtail, and she's doing it right, pulling on that fish, putting pressure on it, and ultimately subduing another nice big Jurel, a big yellowtail for Paulina. Fishing's been great in the Bay of L.A. as Paulina shows off a beautiful catch she made in this tournament.
Still there?
Oh yeah, keep cranking.
Yeah, I'm trying the best.
There you go, stick.
Put it in my stomach here so I get some leverage.
Let it run. Got it.
Got him. Look at that, it's a big one. Look at you, Dad.
Got it. That's a fish to be proud of.
Did you catch another one?
Yeah, maybe.
Freeman Adventures family member extraordinaire Edward Aguilar just backed into H&M Landing in San Diego this Father's Day morning after fishing for a couple of days for the bluefin tuna. It was okay. Thursday night around 10 p.m. they put on 9 fish in the 100 to 120 pound class. Friday night about the same, and then Saturday they had 5 daytime fish in the 20 to 25 pound class. Edward, we really appreciate you checking in. The great fish fish spectacular. Overall, the bite has been down on the bluefin tuna, but you still have a chance at a trophy fish or two from time to time. Legend and Edward back in this morning. Please don't forget to support the Friedman Adventurers family members who make this all possible, like the taxman, Tim Marquez, and your garage door man, Joe Welker, who does a great job and gets rave reviews here at Friedman Adventures. Heating and or air conditioning needs, it's our dear friend John Lopez, and also the Island Spirit, Ventura Sport Fishing. You can't beat it. Chris Isaac and the El Patron out of Long Beach Sport Fishing, www.longbeachsportfishing.org. Good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. On a truly special day, it is Father's Day. I want to wish all you dads out there the very, very best. We have got so much to talk about. We're going to talk about bluefin tuna. Are they back on the bite again? Are we out of this full moon period? What's going on with that? We've got long-range information, Mexico information, and some absolutely tremendous halibut and white sea bass fishing. I got to tell you right up front, Rick Russell running the Freedom out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California, with 81 halibut on their last trip. Limits of white sea bass. It's off the hook in several different islands. San Clemente Island, Santa Barbara Island, and the Channel Islands have been red hot. We also have some weather headed our way. We've got our big surf fishing extravaganza on Saturday, and so much more. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh man, is that good, and is it great to be with you all again. So beautiful here in Southern California. I've already seen lots of fathers and daughters and sons out enjoying this beautiful ocean that we're so blessed to have. And I've got to tell you something right now while I give it the Tootsie report for you and tell you that the water still feels nice and warm. It's beautiful here this morning. You know, Father's Day is a really special day. As a man, there's nothing you can do more important in life than to be a good father. And I mean, there are people who don't have kids who still fill that role. They become mentors to other kids. They go down to the orphanages of Baja California and take care of kids, or they take the neighbor's kid fishing. All of that is so very important, and that's why we're so blessed in this fishing game, because most of us, our goal is to introduce our kids to this beautiful resource, this ocean that we have. And that's the beauty of being a father. So I salute all you great dads who take your kids fishing or go for a hike or get them out into the great outdoors. Also very, very important. And on a personal level now, my two sons, Philip and Patrick, it seems like yesterday when they were really small and we were out on the half-day boats, I had Patrick on my shoulders walking around to the Southern Cal when Ben was running the boat and so many others. It seems like yesterday. However, now I have two grandkids, Finn in Florida, Bo here in Southern California, and I've watched my two sons grow up and become really great fathers, and that means the world to me, and I'm so proud of my boys. They are outstanding. All right, let's get into it. If you don't mind, hit that like button. We deeply appreciate it when you do that. Make sure you tick that little bell. You'll be notified when there's new content. Yes, it's that rotten, filthy, stinky little bell. Subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. You can also follow us on Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. And once again, wow, what a beautiful Father's Day it is. Yesterday I was here in the surf, and there was a lot of sand crabs around. I don't see the patches right now, but I haven't really looked it over too much, but there's been a lot of that going on. Let's talk about Mexico, and we'll start at Cedros Island, where many of you are flying in there right now, and the yellowtail fishing's been off the hook. Great fishing there in Cedros on yellows. There's been a lot of halibut. There's been an occasional white sea bass down there in that neck of the woods. And if you want to catch calico bass, you can do it all day long. Great fishing there in the Bahia de Los Angeles. Perhaps you saw my co-host Paulina Varela from Paulina Fishing Live. Follow her on Facebook. She is outstanding. I love when we go to Mexico and get to hang out with her. This last trip, however, we were really busy doing something else, Anthony and I, and Paulina was heading down to the Bay of LA, where you saw her catch that nice big yellowtail. Yellowtail action in the Bahia de Los Angeles has been good. Danny Cadota was just there with longtime trainer Pete Demers of the Los Angeles Kings, and he'll have more details on all of that tomorrow on his show at 4 p.m. live from 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California. At 6 p.m. we'll be doing Island Fishing Tackle, or we'll be at Island Fishing Tackle doing Tackle Shop Confessions. So really looking forward to that. Also, we'll have more details on that. Ensenada, we're seeing a little bit of barracuda, occasional halibut and white sea bass down there, but it's been mostly the rockfish. There's some barracuda flurries going on there also. So hopefully that is going to continue to head in the right direction. Fletcher, happy Father's Day. Good to see you. Thank you. All right, so many great people here enjoying the great outdoors. It is really beautiful. So good stuff south of the border. Let's talk long-range fishing, and it has been absolutely spectacular. The Independents wrapping up a phenomenal trip. They started out with big yellowtail down there at Alijos Rocks. Then they got on a big jag of yellowfin and bluefin tuna. Great fishing on both those species way down the line there. And they finished up on the beach catching halibut and white sea bass. They were catching yellowtail, pargo, sand bass, calico bass. It was just a trip for the books, as have all the long-range guys been having similar kinds of scores, like the American Angler, the Vagabond, is having a great trip right now. It has been absolutely phenomenal. All right, let's talk about our bluefin tuna bite, because, man, I know a lot of you are wondering what the heck is going on. And it sounded overall like a very slow night last night. Very, very, very slow. Seeing some fish, don't want to bite. Other guys are having trouble even locating the fish. There's a couple of different areas. There's an area up there around San Nicolas Island, west of the west end of San Clemente Island, that bleeds down into the backside of the island. There's been some fish on the Butterfly Bank down at Coronado, which is 120 miles below the border. We've seen some bluefin there and even further down, but they are not biting. It has been very, very slow, and unfortunately it is continuing that way. There's a few daytime fish and occasional kite fish. Most of the bites have come at night. Our friend Jeff Lingle, who gets to spend Father's Day with his daughter. Jeff, happy Father's Day. He runs a yacht. He was out and had a few fish here recently. He seems to think that perhaps we're coming out of this full moon phase. He said it looked a little more encouraging to him. So fingers crossed that Jeff is going to be right, because it has been slow. There is just no doubt about it. And if that was not enough, how about a little weather? We're going to get a little bit of weather that's going to manifest itself here this evening up there from the northern zone up in the Channel Islands all the way down the Baja Coast. We're going to get some wind, and it's going to last at least 24, more likely 48 hours. Some areas will be unfishable. Other areas are going to be just downright snotty. So you're going to have to anticipate that. We'll talk a little bit more about what that means for our sea bass fishing, because it has been absolutely phenomenal, and we're hoping it's going to continue on this beautiful Father's Day. I hope you are enjoying it. Have a great day. Don't forget, on Tackle Shop Confessions, we got a big raffle coming up tomorrow night. Why don't you buy Dad a raffle ticket? $5, and he might walk home with a $800 rod. I mean, it's going to be great, and you can all take advantage of it. You can see, all you got to do is get a hold of Chuck Zimmer. You can Zelle him, you can Venmo him, you can send him a text and ask him questions. But tomorrow night at 6 p.m., two beautiful rods, well over $1,000 in prizes. Again, we'll be adding some more things to it. Don't miss out on that. That is going to be absolutely phenomenal. All right, let's talk about our islands down there at the Coronado Islands. Better sign than we've had in quite some time on board the San Diego. They had 13 yellowtail yesterday. That's one of the best scores we've seen in quite some time. They've had good mixed bag fishing, a lot of it on the anchor. Now they're kind of racing around trying to find those schools of yellowtail. Sometimes it's really, really excellent. By that I mean double digits, like 13 fish. That's a pretty good day considering how it has been. And then other days you'll end up with 1 or 2 fish. There's a little mix of barracuda, some bass mixed in there, and then you can usually do pretty well on the rockfish. So nothing wrong with that. Wow. San Clemente Island, other islands, it is such a great white sea bass bite right now. I know you saw some of the leads ins like Angel Ramirez catching a boat full on a private boat of white sea bass and halibut, and the Freedom with a huge score out of 22nd Street landing 81 halibut. Unheard of. I mean, back when I was a kid, if we would have seen scores like that, I know fishing is supposed to get worse as we go along. We didn't see scores like this on sea bass and halibut when I was 12 years old working on the Redondo Special. In fact, we'd see a sea bass and go, what the heck is that, as a young kid? Man, I'm telling you, it is phenomenal. 81 halibut on the Freedom. Rick Russell really doing a great job over there. Limits of white sea bass. The limit goes to 3 now on the white sea bass, and there will be boats who are going to catch 3 white sea bass per fisherman, per angler, because it is that good. It is absolutely tremendous. The Amigo, also out of 22nd Street landing with limits of white sea bass, another huge score. And they had 13 halibut on board the Amigo with Mark Paisano Jr. and Mark Sonata on deck doing his usual fine work. Tremendous. And then we move you up to the Channel Islands, the Endeavor with a great halibut score. Excellent fishing. Inshore, the Island Spirit was out with KJ. He had great fishing going on. Recently, the Navigante out of Redondo Sport Fishing, limiting out on white sea bass. Our dear friend Jolene Thompson was on a recent trip. Danny Illustri was on that trip. A couple of great friends of mine and great anglers, and they raved about how good it has been. And then up there on the Mirage and other boats, they're getting limits of sea bass and copious amounts of flatfish. The halibut bite has been stupendous, and it's continuing. We are going to get some weather, so we're going to have to watch that very, very closely for you all and see where it takes us, because it's going to get a little bit blowy up there starting this afternoon. We'll keep our eyes on it. Hopefully the guys can find some shelter and keep catching that white sea bass. Sometimes it's dropper loop fishing, especially on the halibut, but a lot of that white sea bass has been on light lead heads or a sliding egg sinker with a live squid. There's plenty of squid up there. Guys have been making a ton of it, and it really has been excellent. Wow, I can't really tell you how impressive this bite truly is as we are here on Father's Day. Adrian Cruz had that great trip recently on board the Endeavor. I don't know how it can get much better than it is right now. And again, David Rosenthal out on a private boat. He couldn't get the sea bass to bite, but they caught nice halibut. David's a great angler from Angle R. Pliers, a great supporter and Friedman Adventures family member. That is David. We love him. He does a great job. Good to see him out catching some fish also. All right, let's talk about our local situation. Now I'm talking 1/2 and 3/4 day boats from San Diego up to the Channel Islands. We're continuing to see more and more bass on a regular basis. Sand and calico bass. The Native Son out of 22nd Street landing had some pretty darn good bass fishing. Also, there's sculpin and whitefish and rockfish, and you get an occasional flurry on the Barracuda. The Victory out of Long Beach Sport Fishing, pretty darn good. The Monte Carlo, Dan out of Dana Wharf. Freelance over at Catalina's been doing pretty good. I skipped over Catalina. What's wrong with me? I'll be right back with that in a moment. I'll stay on this theme of the local, the Western Pride down in San Diego. More and more bass. It's coming together slowly but surely. This water is pretty darn warm here, and that's all we need. I think we came out of that La Nina oceanographic condition, cold water. We went neutral. It warmed up a little bit. It's been slow to really reach its apex in terms of water temperatures here. Little degree or two more. You're going to see yellows locally. The Victory had one the other day, and we're also going to see some really good bass fishing. That's getting ready to happen. Earl McVicker out on a twilight trip the other night. Had great bass fishing on the new Del Mar. I know that Nick Ramirez is on the pursuit. Let's segue into Catalina Island since your host forgot about that beautiful little island. Nick is on the pursuit at Catalina Island today. They're killing the blue perch over there, by the way. And I know blue perch is not like a big game fish, but just good to see that cycle coming back where we're seeing that. That's really good stuff. They've caught some good halibut on board the pursuit on the El Patron out of Long Beach, for fishing a good mix of bass, occasional yellowtail. They had a day with 4 yellows here recently on board the El Patron. And we've also seen some really excellent fishing in terms of the bottom stuff. So that also is in there, and it is a great way for you to get the job done. El Patron, www.longbeachsportfishing.org. Island Spirit, 805-676-3474. VenturaSportFishing.com. So this local bite, while not wide open, is pretty darn good. And it seems like it could bust wide open at any point in time. That's looking good. In the Southern California surf, I was here with my son Philip, my grandson Bo, and some other really lovely people yesterday, Jenny and Jeremy, and of course my daughter-in-law, Jessica, and we just had an absolute ball. It was Bo's first day at the beach. Special as far as I'm concerned. I couldn't help get a little modeling and look out there and think, man, Bo, you don't realize it right now, but this is going to bring you such joy in the future, this ocean of ours that we are so blessed to have. It's definitely going to do that. So really a special day. We saw a lot of sand crabs here on the beach. We didn't catch a darn thing, and neither did the guys next to us yesterday, but we were off the tide. We were at extreme low tide. The tide's going to be up, I think, around 3 o'clock this afternoon. So that might be a good time to fish. There's been more corvina. There's been some bar perch. Water's starting to get a little warm for them, but not too warm. So we see that still. And we've seen yellowfin croaker and spotfin croaker. We've seen a lot of that here in the Southern California surf. Big fish, bait, and tackle on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and Pacific Coast Highway. Yonder, they do a great job down there. They are your surf fishing headquarters here in Southern California. You can definitely get all the bait and tackle you'll need right there. And also, don't forget, you can load up on any gear you might need for white sea bass, halibut, yellowtail, and all of that. So keep that in mind. Man, I'm enjoying this morning at the beach. It is absolutely beautiful. So much improved surf fishing going on. We'll be at that tower next Saturday, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., and you should be there too. It's going to be fun. Even if you don't like to surf fish, come on down, have a cup of coffee, and just hang out with the Friedman Adventures family members. There are a lot of great folks around me in this endeavor, and I can't feel more blessed than I do here on this beautiful Father's Day. All right, my friends, boy, there is a lot going on. This sea bass and halibut fishing is off the hook. And what about that bluefin tuna? Somebody needs to kick those things in the butt and get them to poke their nose up again, because it's been pretty darn tough. And it was a tough night last night. A few scores here and there. Overall, really, really tough. In fact, I just talked to Max on the Pacific Voyager. He has an overnight trip, and he's going to go to San Clemente Island to see if he can't catch some white sea bass, calico bass, and do his thing there. Max doing his usual fine work on the Pacific Voyager out of Ventura Sport Fishing, out of Seaforth Sport Fishing in beautiful San Diego. I moved you there, Max. I hope you don't mind, up to Ventura. Hey, have a great one. Have a wonderful Father's Day. You deserve it. Keep being a good dad. And to my sons who have become such great fathers, I'm so proud of you both. You guys, I love you, and I'll see you a little bit later today. At least Philip, I will. And Patrick, I think I'm going to see you about August the 31st, because we might be going to the Hard Rock Stadium for Notre Dame's opening game at Miami. That should be a good one. Take care. Have a great one. And I hope to see you really, really soon. one of these three gorgeous rods could be yours this Monday night on Tackle Shop Confessions on the Freeman Adventures YouTube channel. That is a 30-pound range shadow rod along with a beautiful 30-pound Phoenix rod. Tickets are only $5, or you can get 5 tickets for only $20. You need to text Chuck Zimmer for more information. His number is 310-918-1448. Or you can Venmo the funds to Chuck at Charles-Zimmer-5. 2 beautiful rods going out on Tackle Shop Confessions Monday, June 16th. Don't be late. Get your tickets today.